Welcome back to the shop, everybody. Today we are going to continue working on our powder coating oven build. It's kind of gotten tucked away. It's Christmas Eve right now, so Merry Christmas. So we've been running around, haven't really had time to work on it. Today we are going to take a look at our heater and what we need to do with that thing to heat that thing. So stay tuned. So where we left off was we got that whole box insulated and the door mounted and latching shut. We got a hole cut in the bottom corner for our said heater. And don't mind a little bit of noise. I'm testing out my new furnace. It was from an old mobile home. Kind of got it really jimmy rigged up here, but we'll see if it works. Just gonna see if it cuts off. People from Texas got hit with snow. Found that kind of funny because they were all complaining about their water tables freezing up on them. I mean, they don't know nothing. They don't know nothing. It's frozen here all the time, it seems. It's been very cold the last couple days, but we've been getting by. So this is what I got. I don't know if it's all here. I do the right thing just like every other YouTuber, and before he does a project like that, he YouTubes said project. Because that makes me now a professional to now tell you. Because apparently that's how the world works. I do not take credit for any of this. This is just something that intrigued me and was, in my head, a cheaper way of heating the oven. So take that as you will. So I got a Mr. Heater. This one is a consistent, continuous ignition. So I think on the other side, yeah. So it's got its little thermostat doohickey here. And once it's started, it'll click on and off. So I think and hope. If not, I'll have to figure something else out. We got, this doesn't really matter, but this is the door gasket that I'm gonna use. This was used on wood stoves and stuff like that. So it's high temp, should be good. Came with some silicone. I got 2 boxes of that. We got this regulator here. This is not a regulator, switch basically. So this is an electronically controlled gas switch. So this is gonna control our propane on and off. This one fails to the off position, which I highly recommend. That way, if there's anything wrong, there ain't no gas flowing in your shop. So there's that, and that one's a 110 volt, so I'll be able to wire that in to the main power of the unit. I wanted that way I didn't have to use any kind of 12 volt adapter or anything weird like that. PID controller, just the cheapest one I could find on Amazon. Don't know much about these guys, but They tell you what temperature it's inside the box and what temperature is you're wanting, and that'll tell this thing when to turn on and off. So that's the plan. Solid state relay. This is what turns everything on or off. Which is also, this is controlled. This is PID controller controls this, which then turns on this or anything else I need to when that temperature comes to temp. Couple of miscellaneous stuff. Plug and a switch. I'm gonna use this as my main on and off. Just a normal house switch. And I don't know why I picked this up. Maybe I'll have a plug-in on there or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. Fake it till you make it. So anyways, I'm going to get this thing torn apart. Take a look at it. Because I will need fittings. I'm pretty sure this is way too big than the fittings that are in this guy. So I'm going to tear this guy apart, see what's in it, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, stick with me. All right, so I just pulled the bottom plate off to kind of see what I'm dealing with here. And you can see here, this is where your gas feeds in, goes up. This is your little start button, which we are actually eliminating. That lets gas through so you can start the spark, but it's gonna be, I think it's gonna flow enough that I shouldn't need anything like that. I took this off thinking I needed to, but this was the high-low flow meter, which is actually this guy right here. This thing moves side to side. Don't know if you can really see that. But it's basically a valve. We're going to be eliminating that as well. So basically all I'm really concerned about is this piece right here. This is our gas feed. So what I'm going to be doing, what's under there? I don't know what those screws are for. Anywho, doesn't matter. I'm going to be removing basically everything from here back. This is also the thermal couple, or the thermal, I think this is what reads your heat, like a safety kind of thing, but we are having this thing turn off and on via thermostat already, so this can actually be just ignored, is my understanding. Again, YouTube professional here, so I don't know. And another, don't do this at home moment, guys. Playing with gas isn't safe. Don't do what I do. I'm an idiot, yada, yada, yada. Be safe, be smart. Don't blow yourself up. Especially not from watching one of my videos, because that isn't going to help anybody. So, I think I just broke this, actually. Okay, well, whatever. I'm going to start taking this stuff off. See if I have enough fittings around here to get this guy tapered down. And I'm actually hoping that once this is out, I might be able to squeeze this guy actually in there, kind of behind everything, so I could still close this thing up. And it looks like I never touched it. I mean, I'll have to put another hole back here for the feed, which I'm hoping to use the same fitting. So yeah, I'll start tearing stuff apart, see if I can get some adapters, and I'll see if I can get that thing mounted inside there. Okay, so I got this guy removed. It's that whole doohickey madoodle with the valve, all that jazz. This is our end piece, so I'm going to be keeping this piece to go on the end of said solenoid, and I need to get an adapter from this to this. So I'm going to hunt down some of those parts, but it looks like I'll be able to make this still fit inside here with the base plate on, you know, protect everything. And the two wires from the solenoid, I'm going to be tapping into this white and this green. So that way, when this thing is plugged in, when this thing's hot, the solenoid opens up, fan turns on, gas flows. Because when you plug this thing in, fan instantly starts and the continuous ignition starts. So what I'm going to do is have this plug with an extension cord running to my control box. That'll have the solid state relay, and I'm going to use that plug, that receptacle that I showed you. So it'll be plugged in there. So that way when the PID controller turns on the relay, this whole thing lets gas go, fan goes, spark goes, turns on, essentially. That's the plan. So I'm going to get this thing, find some fittings, get this solenoid bolted in here, and then we can plug it in and test it, because I can dry test it without gas. You should hear this thing click when this thing gets turned on, and I'll just do that by plugging it in and out of the wall to see if this thing is actually turning on like I am intending it to. And then once that is all good, then we can get to the PID controller and the control box. It won't be much of a control box, more so a holder of parts. But we're getting somewhere. Making sense, should work, hopefully. I mean, you'll never see this video if I blow myself up, so hopefully I get to finish this video. Stay tuned. So it's been another couple of days, just trying to get Christmas over with and done. It is now over. I can finally focus on this a little bit more. I had a great Christmas. I hope y'all did too. That furnace has been an absolute blessing. Love it. It's been working good. I've had it on for the last couple of days. I keep it right around plus 5 degrees Celsius in here, just so I don't have to, wear all my snow gear and everything just to work in the shop. It's been pretty awesome. So, anyway, where we're at. I bought a couple of miscellaneous fittings and adapters and stuff. They didn't have exactly what I needed. This one seems to have been a pretty fancy, I think it's more of a gas line type fitting for this guy. So I might have to reuse this part, which adds a lot of length to my unit, which means this starts getting real tight in here. So I don't know exactly where this is going to be orientated, but I was able to get it through this hole where the volume knob was, not volume, low high knob, and the clicker switch was on. So I might have to keep that out and try to fit it all within here. I don't know. I'm still just working on it, guys. I don't know. Trying to make it work. So I'm gonna take these fittings. I have a box of some fittings somewhere on the shelf, and I'm gonna see if I can jimmy rig something in here that will get this all connected, and then I'll bring you guys back to show what I did, and hopefully it, semi works, which would be pretty sweet. And yeah, because I'd like to get this done, because I'd like to really test out that furnace, or at least make sure that this thing can operate. I don't know if this is going to be its own video too. I don't know. Maybe it will be. Maybe it won't be. I don't know. But stick with me here, boys, and I'll bring you back once I have this thing kind of roughly mocked up, and I'll show you show you where all the fittings are needed and stuff like that. Okay, so this is what I've come up with. I'm not overly proud of it, but I think it's going to get the job done with the least amount of hacking up and using what I have. So the solenoid's actually going to sit outside of the unit. I really wanted it inside, but I mean, beggars can't be choosers when you're trying to do this all with parts you have laying around. So I just have an elbow. I had to reuse this fitting, which is the main issue. Let me get this out of the way here. This was that original valve. I had to use that because of this fancy fitting that I can't seem to find locally. Elbow's out, adapts into here, and then this will adapt out. None of this is all on here yet. I gotta finish this, but I think this is what I'm gonna run with. How this thing sits actually in this pocket, that's where this little cup was. Fits nice, and it actually kind of holds it, so there shouldn't be too much pressure on anything, which is kind of nice. Might throw some zip ties or something just to keep it from bouncing around. I don't plan on this unit being moved around a lot. The main purpose of this unit is to run the oven. So I don't see it going anywhere or being used for anything else. Knowing me, I'll probably try something stupid, but for now, I think this will get the job done. Yeah, like I said, it kind of holds it fairly sturdy in here because it's kind of jammed up in here. Once everything's tight, this shouldn't be moving around. I don't like having the gas line so far out, but hopefully heat won't be an issue. I know on my other propane heater, this part of the burner actually doesn't get that hot because it blows it all through, so it shouldn't be an issue. And I mean, really, in here, it's not any different, so yeah, it shouldn't be a big deal. And plus, I don't need to drill any more holes back here then, which is kind of nice. And I could technically bring this thing right back around to what it was. So if I do need it as a burner, like an actual heater, then I could just replumb it without messing too much stuff up. I'm going to keep all of the parts that I don't need, and that way I can always go back. So I'm going to get Teflon on all this. I'm going to get this all tightened down, squared away, wired up. Like I said, we're going to need to tie these two wires into the red and the green and white. That way, when this thing gets plugged in, that thing clicks on and go time. So I'll bring you back here one more time. Stick with me here, guys. And I'll get this all tightened down and wired in, and then we'll do a test. All right, so I got the fittings all Teflon wrapped and tight and mounted. Everything should be snugged up and done. The wires are hooked up. I don't know why I was saying green and white. I meant black and white. It's your constant and your neutral. The green is ground. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about that, so sorry. But anyway, grab the black and white wire. Doesn't matter which one, I don't believe, because it's just a solenoid. It needs power one way or the other to open and close. So now in theory, if I plug this thing in, you should hear a click from the solenoid, this solenoid, and you should hear the fan go on, and you should hear the igniter start. So we're going to try that right now. You should hear a pop, a fan, and the igniter. I don't know if you'll hear all of them on camera, but we'll see what happens. So here we go. So I think that works. You heard the solenoid, the fan, and you hear the igniter start. So now I am going to attempt this with propane. I'm going to hook the propane up and just kind of listen and hear and smell for propane to make sure all my joints are sealed properly. And if that works, then the burner part is done. And if that's the case, it's pretty sweet. Then I just got to finish the rest of it. So anyways, I'm going to get the propane line on, hooked up to the propane tank, and we'll see if this thing fires off. Okay, so I got it all hooked up. I got it sitting here on the floor. Propane's hooked up. Cord's hooked up. Couldn't smell any leaks. Could only really check for leaks post-solenoid because that solenoid's not open. And I have it wired in now, so now when I click it on, but so far I'm not smelling any propane, at least not raw propane. I did fire this thing up once, so it is working. Just that way, if I blew myself up, no one saw that on camera. So anywho, I am going to plug this guy in, and when I plug this in, that should fire up. So I'm going to try setting you up here somewhere where it won't get all crazy here. Let me see if this tripod thing works. There, look at that. Okay, so I'm going to go plug this thing in, and you can watch this thing fire up. just like that, works perfect. Throwing some good heat. That should heat that oven, no problem. So I'm just gonna fix my camera here now that I messed it all up. So that's perfect. And so what's gonna happen is, this is gonna be plugged into the PID controller or the box, and this thing will get turned on and off as needed. So there'll be times where that thing is going on and off and on and off, and then running for a while, running not for a while, you know, doing the thing. Just trying to keep that thing up to temp. And I think with that PID controller, I can control how, like I could keep it within 2 or 3 or 5 degrees. So once it drops 5 degrees below what I want it to be, that thing fires back on and heats it back up. So should work pretty good. I am now gonna switch over to the PID and the controller unit of the oven, because this is basically done and ready to go. It works awesome. So we're gonna work on the rest of that. Oh yeah, and I picked myself up a new compressor. By new, I mean slightly used and the motor's blown, because I don't buy anything new or nice. So anyway, I think I'm gonna cut that video here, guys. We'll do this kind of in segments, and the next one will be me wiring up that PID controller. I'll try to put these videos out as consistently as possible and as fast as possible. That way it's not so, you know, waiting a month for the next video. All right, well, that being said, thank you guys. Happy New Year. I'm sure that 2023 is upon us, and it depends on when you're watching this. But it's been a great year. I think I have 415 subscribers, so I actually hit my mark. I was hoping for 400 by the end of the year, and I really appreciate it very much, guys. If you could go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't, leave a comment, hit the like button. The YouTube stuff really likes that. And so do I. If you comment, I want to chat with you guys. I mean, if you see something that I'm doing that's stupid or maybe I shouldn't try, I mean, right now we were playing with gas, so that's probably up there. But guys who've built their own stuff, let me know. I mean, I know nothing about this stuff. That's something I've been preaching since day one, is I am not a professional at any of this. I use the term fake it till I make it a lot, but that's not really the point. It's almost try. Just do it. I mean, if you wanna get something done, just go out and do it. If you just sit there and procrastinate or wait for it to be done for you, it'll never happen. And I mean, to buy an oven that's similar size to this brand new, you're looking at $2-3 grand. And if you think you're gonna save up for that, if you're like me, that's not gonna happen. It's not practical. To take that money away from your family and your living, it just doesn't work. So go out and build it. Once you're done building it, you feel like you've accomplished something. And if you fail, all you did is learn how not to build it, and you can try again. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for a great 2022. I really appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, subscribe and comment, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya!